You know, the power of silence, more often than not, is completely overlooked. And when it comes to dealing with a destructive narcissist, it can actually be your most powerful weapon, as well as a really good strategy for taking care of yourself. In today's video, I'm diving into exactly what your silence does to the narcissist and why it can be a really good way to go. Let's do it. Hey friends, Tamie M. Joyce here, empowerment life coach, creator of the Freedom class and the Ascension class. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. Please take a second to say hello and introduce yourself in the comment section below. And if you're back, of course, welcome back. Thanks for showing up and for tuning in. Either way, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell to be notified when I post new videos throughout the week. So let's talk about what your silence actually does to the narcissist. But first, it's important to understand that when we're talking about people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism, we're talking about people on a spectrum, meaning there is a continuum, a spectrum to the destructive narcissist personality pattern. These are never black or white issues. Now, that said, it's also important to know when it comes to dealing with people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism, that we are quite literally talking about people who are energetically vampiric in nature. These are individuals who thrive on intensity, drama, and emotional chaos. Not least the intensity, drama, and emotional chaos derived from your pain and discomfort. Pain and discomfort, they are very good at creating in you for their own purpose and sometimes even pleasure. And this is precisely why, if you're paying attention, you'll notice that they quite literally smirk with smug satisfaction anytime they're able to succeed in making you feel uncomfortable, knowing, or hoping anyway, that they can affect or emotionally control you in this way, if they can get away with it. That in itself is vampiric behavior, friends. Some people would go so far as to call it evil, and certainly it can be, depending on the level of malevolence you're dealing with. They will poke, prod, and provoke you, both passively and aggressively, with deliberate intent to elicit an emotional reaction so they can literally feed off of your negative reaction, your intense emotional reactivity. They go out of their way to manufacture it in you, again, so they can feed off of and quite literally get high on it, just like a demon or vampire would. Think about that. So, know up front that your intense emotional reactivity to their provocations and the relationship crimes they're deliberately committing is what serves as a grade A source of narcissistic supply. It's emotional and energetic supply, sustenance for the destructive narcissist. So, as an empathetic person, especially if you have untreated codependency and unresolved family of origin wounding and trauma, it's vitally important for you to be aware of the fact that the destructive narcissist in your life can and will quite literally siphon the vital life force energy from your very being if you let them. Which brings us to the discussion of exactly what your silence does to the destructive narcissist. Well, suffice to say, when you go silent on a destructive narcissist, and not in a passive-aggressive, game-playing, attention-seeking way, the way the narcissist uses the silent treatment to manipulate, punish, control, and hurt you, I don't mean like that. I mean when you go silent from a place of absolute resolve, absolute certainty and clarity, holding a squeaky clean frequency, embodying an energy of clarity and certainty, and an empowered energy that says, you are absolutely insignificant. You are literally of zero consequence to me. That kind of attitude. When you go silent on a narcissist from that place, completely empowered and boundaried, completely clear and certain, in a way that communicates there is no narcissistic supply to be had here. When you go silent and mean it, from a place of absolute dominion over your emotional state, over your energetic force field, sovereign in who you are, calm, cool, clear, collected, and detached. Nothing to be had here, buckaroo. And you hold that stance consistently, reliably, predictably, what you are doing quite literally is starving the narcissist of the one thing they need in order to feel alive, significant, and important. You are starving them of what they need in order to know that somehow they matter. You're starving them of narcissistic supply. And few things are more powerful or send the message more clearly, the message that says, you're not playing, you are not someone to play with, than treating a narcissist as if they no longer exist. They're literally dead to you. They do not matter. And they do not exist. You don't even see them. They're not on your radar. Quite literally starving them of that narcissistic supply that they need to survive. Now, what this does is it forces the narcissist to have to go elsewhere to get their hit or fix of narcissistic supply. And the good news about this is they leave you in peace. Now, maybe not immediately, for sure. Maybe they circle back for a while or even after an extended period of time, just to test the water, just to see what they can get away with, just to see if you're suffering from codependent amnesia. They may very well test you to see if they can get back in and start the whole game, the whole abuse cycle all over again. So here's the thing. You may very well have to communicate this new silent stance of yours on repeat for a while. It may take some time for the narcissist to get it, to take the change in your demeanor, your new attitude, seriously. But I promise you this. You treating a destructive narcissist to a healthy dose of absolute silence on repeat without wavering over time, you demonstrating that you don't even see them, they're not on your radar whatsoever, they're that kind of insignificant, this is absolutely the fastest way to get rid of them. If you want them gone for good, this is how you do it. And I know this is a tough thing for those of you who are still in codependent, people-pleasing, approval-seeking mode. I get it. I spent a lot of years there myself. Before doing our own personal healing and recovery work, this can be a tough one. When we're all wrapped up in and concerned and consumed with what others think and how they feel about us, when we're more concerned with winning their approval and being seen as nice than we are about taking care of ourselves, this shift in attitude and behavior will be uncomfortable. Naturally, as full-blown empaths, we want to be nice, kind, loving, and compassionate. There's nothing wrong with that. Unless, of course, being nice, kind, loving, and compassionate means we're perpetually putting our hand up for disrespect and mistreatment, if not outright emotional and psychological abuse. So yes, be nice and good and kind and compassionate, but never to your own detriment. Never when cycling through the narcissistic abuse cycle on repeat year after year. Instead, how about you save some of the love and kindness and compassion for yourself? How about you spend some time loving and respecting you first? Imagine what a difference that could make for you. And while you're at it, remember always exactly who and what it is that you're dealing with, especially when we're talking about empathy-impaired emotional manipulators who feel entitled to hurt you and then blame you for the hurt they cause. Codependent amnesia is a real thing, and it gets us into all kinds of trouble with sick, dysfunctional family systems, people who, again, feel entitled to target and scapegoat us, as well as other empathy-impaired emotional manipulators who feel entitled to hurt, target, and exploit us. So, your job is to catch yourself when you're slipping into codependent amnesia. Your job is to stay conscious and be aware. Tell yourself the dirt honest truth about what's really gone on in the relationship dynamic, and then do what you need to do to take care of yourself. No matter how highly empathetic you are, no matter how spiritual you may be, or what a good Christian or otherwise religious person you are striving to be, no matter how well-intended and heart-centered you are, know this. First of all, it is not now, nor has it ever been God's will for you to be mistreated, targeted, and abused by anyone, not least those who claim to love you, no matter who they are. And also know that these people with a destructive narcissist personality pattern, they do not change. And when you finally decide it's time now to communicate that you are done, it's over, they won't understand kind, sincere, genuine, and polite. That tact will not land, and it certainly won't work. In fact, it won't even put a dent in what's going on with them. So, although I am all about being a kind, loving, decent, compassionate, sincere, genuine, and positive person, in the realm of narcissistic abuse, in the realm of these relationships, with empathy impaired, toxic, deceptive, and emotionally abusive beyond description, manipulative beyond description, people of this nature, remember who you're dealing with. They don't change. It doesn't get better from here. So ask yourself, just how far has being kind, sincere, and polite gotten you with the narcissist so far? I'm guessing not very far. Most likely, what it's done, this compassionate and forgiving nature of yours, what it's done is set you up for more mistreatment, more slander, more manipulation, and more abuse, more toxicity, more gaslighting, more control and power dynamics, not to mention more insanity, chaos, and drama over time. No fun at all. So again, it is vital that you stay conscious and remember exactly who and what it is that you're dealing with. Nice, kind, polite does not work with some people, not least being people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism. And sometimes someone will say to me, well, yeah, okay, Tammy, but I'm not responsible for them. I'm responsible for me. And I say, yes, absolutely. I am all about personal responsibility, radical responsibility, taking radical responsibility for ourselves and what's going on in our lives. But if you think that being endlessly kind, compassionate, loving, and forgiving is going to get you what you want in your relationship with a true blue, dyed-in-the-wool destructive narcissist, if you think that your long-suffering and highly empathetic nature is going to get you anywhere in that relationship dynamic, you're kidding yourself. In truth, you're lying to yourself, flat out. Yes, take personal, radical responsibility for who you are and how you show up, and what you allow, what you tolerate in your life. Yes, take radical responsibility for your own personal healing and recovery so you can heal the subconscious magnetic relationship pattern that has you running this painful abuse cycle with harmful people on repeat. Yes, take responsibility for yourself and the quality of your life and do your work. But do not delude yourself into believing that you can twist yourself into some version of who the narcissist says they need you to be in order to survive the relationship with them. Do not think that doing that will put so much as a dent in what's going on with the narcissist so they can meet your needs. I'm telling you right now, that track will not work. The truth is, silence is, without question, the most powerful weapon you can use to communicate what it is that you need to communicate to a destructive narcissist once you surrender to the reality of what is and decide that you're done. Once you're ready to move them out of your experience and into another realm, out of your life, so you can get back to yourself and your life and get yourself back on track, back to living the life you actually came to the planet to live, which I promise you has nothing to do with having a destructive narcissist latched onto you or your life in any way, manufacturing all manner of negative emotion, pain, drama, and trauma, while siphoning your vital life force energy from your very soul. That is not why you're here. Now, comment below and let me know whether or not you've ever used silence as the powerful weapon that it can be to communicate what it is that you need to communicate to a destructive narcissist. And if so, was it effective? Did it work? And in addition, if you'd like to learn more about the possibility of working with me in one of my coaching programs, there's a link in the description below this video where you can apply to see if you qualify for a free one-on-one consultation with either myself or a member of my team. Now, this is important, so please, please hear me. Despite outward appearances, I don't care how grandiose and outwardly confident the narcissist may appear to be. I don't even care how high functioning they are or to what degree they have managed to get it to all look good for the benefit of the outside world. The truth is, people who land on the spectrum of destructive narcissism are people who are fundamentally lacking in any real, authentic, or genuine personal power. Don't let the fake, phony facade and all the false bravado fool you. Underneath the mask, I promise you, there is no real, genuine, or authentic personal power. So, for that reason, a relationship with a narcissist, any relationship, is always going to be about power and control. It will be about controlling you, controlling perceptions, controlling narratives, controlling outcomes, and especially, more than anything, controlling how others perceive them. In addition, once they realize that they can no longer control you, they'll work overtime to control how others see you, what others think of you, and how others feel about you. They will go as far as it takes, and to that end, they'll be willing to say whatever it takes, no matter how untrue, cruel, or bizarre. Whatever narrative they believe serves them, and whatever agenda they happen to be running with at the time. And their mission, their agenda, might just be to turn everyone you know against you. Now, the deal with this is, people who really know you, people who genuinely love you, who care about you, should be onto this pretty quickly. If they aren't, if they're acting as enabling and therefore complicit flying monkeys and little minions, you have to see that for what it is. When this is the muck we find ourselves stuck in, know this: you are not actually stuck. Life is happening for you, not to you. Sometimes God, the universe, whoever you pray to, is simply cleaning house, taking out the trash, so to speak. Painful as that might be to endure in the moment, I get it. But remember, our job is to get ourselves to a place where we can rise above the toxic gossip, all the lies and distorted narratives, and rest confidently in the knowledge of who we are, knowing full well what the truth actually is, knowing full well what it is that we've lived, and simply let that be enough. Now, I'm not saying it's always going to be easy to do that, but that's the goal. To get ourselves to that place, to that level of self-worth, self-love, and self-esteem. To learn to embody that kind of certainty and clarity, emotional intelligence, and personal empowerment. That's the goal, and you can get there. The thing is, once you go silent and the narcissist loses control of you, smearing you is all they have left. Once you detach and disconnect and stop engaging and stop playing, once you stop giving your power away and allowing them to siphon your vital life force energy while pummeling your self-worth into the dirt, again, no matter how passively or aggressively they may be doing that over time, you know full well the very real price that you pay for remaining engaged in these sick, toxic, and dysfunctional dynamics. So, know that all they've got to prop themselves up with some sense of, false sense of power and control over you is to lie and smear and twist and distort and omit and control and manipulate. It's all they've got. So when you go silent and they can't control you, they no longer have access to you, be prepared to be smeared. It's just who they are, and it's what they do. Again, it's all they've got. And we have no control over that sort of thing. Those who genuinely love you for real, those who actually know you and your heart, who truly care about you, the people who are worth having in your life, they'll be willing, at the very least, to give you the benefit of the doubt, if not, the benefit of an actual conversation. They'll want to hear your side of the story before passing judgment or making decisions about who you are and what you've done or haven't done. And those who are so easily swayed by the toxic gossip, the lies, the character assassination, and the smear campaign, anyone who is so easily swayed by all the nonsense, believe me, you don't want them in your life anyway. Love yourself enough to see it for what it is. Do what you need to do to take care of and protect yourself and heal from the whole ordeal, and then go find better. I promise you, there is much, much better out there and available for you. You just need to get yourself to a place where that is what you're a match for, and you can do that. It's time now. And with that, I'm going to call it a wrap, but don't stop now. I have well over 300 more videos right here on YouTube for you to watch to help you better understand the detrimental effects of narcissistic abuse, and more importantly, learn what you need to do now to heal from the abuse so you can start living your best life in peace, confidence, freedom, and abundance. And if you want to go deeper with me, go to TamieMCoaching.com and learn about my unique tried and true process garnered over decades of experience, and learn how you can become my client.